Hey, Sober Gang family, it's me, Jameson, and today I'd like to introduce you to who I consider to be a leader in Dayton recovery. This is Miss April Tedore.
Hey everybody, my clean date is September 26th, 2016. I want to share some of my achievements with you guys, and I think it's very important that we know what recovery can do for us. So I have a home today. I have a car, a valid license today. I got my children back. They're grown now, but in recovery, I did get my children back. I have a job, a wonderful job that gives back to so many sick babies and old people and even us young people. I sponsor women today, which is very rewarding. About 15 women. They're all at different stages of the recovery, so it is a blessing. I chair meetings. I am an annual chair at a Tuesday night women's meeting. I've been making coffee there for 4 years, so lots of service work I think is important. I've been given tons and tons of leads, so which is so important. It's freeing for me. It's liberating every time I give a lead. So yeah, it's just really important to give back to this.
Thank you, April. So pretty much, to me, April's a rock star, and to anybody else affiliated with Sober Gang or Dayton Recovery, then you guys would probably agree with me, right? She's inspiring on so many levels. I can't even explain it. And so basically, I just wanted to ask her several questions about where she was, where she is now, and how she got here. Thank you for joining. So, April, can you tell me about some defining moments? I mean, your rock bottom, that moment where you realized you could no longer sustain this lifestyle and you wanted something better.
Yes. So I lost my children, obviously. I was in a relationship. It was very, very toxic. Drugs, alcohol, sex. I found myself living in my car on the side of the road in Concord, North Carolina. And I was just done. I wanted to be done. And I prayed because I knew that lifestyle from when I was younger. So that seed was planted, and I started praying, and I prayed for like a year, and it was really hard, but here I am today. So.
Amen, amen. So many times I've heard in my recovery and a lot of other people's that the rock bottom brought them to a point of spiritual connection, which eventually led to a spiritual awakening. Could you tell me about your spiritual awakening?
Sure. So I was at work one day, and this is after I came back from North Carolina, and the quality guy was a pastor. I found this out afterwards, but he was like, "Well, you got a really good spirit about you," and he's like, "Do you go to church anywhere?" And I was like, "No," I hadn't been in church since I was 16, so yeah, I don't know what spirit he was, but anyway, he had begged me to go to church. I ended up going to church. I wasn't quite done. I moved to Florida for a month and a half, but I did come back and I did start going to church. And through the worship and the people there, I was just there at church one day, and I ended up at the altar, and I was like, "What am I doing?" And that day I got saved, which was October 8th of 2016, and I've not looked back.
So many times when people are trying to explain to me their spiritual awakening, right, I find that they are at a loss for words. Anyone who has experienced a spiritual awakening knows that it's probably the hardest thing on earth to explain, right, the entire experience. However, if you have experienced it, then you know exactly why we're stuttering and things of that nature. So let's see. So could you tell me about some of the support groups you've utilized and some of the things that you've accumulated in your recovery that keep you where you are today?
Okay. So about 3 months into my recovery, I was in NA. I was there for a short time, and my church decided to have families of addicts in the church. That was in Miami County. I attended that for a while, and I ended up being the director of Miami County Families of Addicts. So I did that for a year and a half of my sobriety. That was my focus, God and FOA. I didn't even date anybody. So I just nose to the wall and did that. And I'm part of Dayton. I am on the board of Dayton Recovers. I do AA now. There was a next step at Gainsburg was a thing. That was a big part of my recovery. It is no longer, but now there is another church service in Troy at 6:30, which is basically like next step. So I attend that on Saturday nights, and it works.
It sounds to me like spirituality is what you would consider to be the biggest factor in your recovery. Is that right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I too have found that common connection where without spirituality, I'm just a series of bad decisions, and God has allowed me. He has freed me of my ego, and through working in 12 steps, right, and taking advice and support from other people, right, instead of sheltering or isolating, right, and saying I can handle this. Well, we're handling this. God us, So, can you tell us about what Sober Gang in the community has done for you?
Wow. For me, I give back. I love giving back. I love watching people grow. So, Sober Gang, you will post that somebody has got 6 months, 9 months, 2 days. That right there brings me so much joy, and I like that. That is what Sober Gang does for me. I mean, I get joy from watching people grow in this, regardless of where they are.
That's beautiful. Well, we really appreciate your contribution. You're such a huge part of what we're doing, and we look forward to having you in years to come. And last but not least, guys, one piece of advice you can give the newcomer, someone in early recovery, just give them your experience, strength, and hope on this.
So, my advice is to get into these rooms. Pay attention. They say take the cotton out of your ears and put it in your mouth and listen. That's true. Get yourself a sponsor. Work with your sponsor. Remember, we're not here to chase you. We have our own recovery to chase. So it's important that you keep listen for somebody that has something that you want, and ask them to be your sponsor. Give back. Make coffee. Chair a meeting. Those things are important. When we get out of ourselves and get into this program, it goes a long way. It's worked for me, and it can work for you too.
I couldn't agree more. Hey, thank you so much for your time, okay, Miss April? We really respect you and we admire you, okay? Keep doing what you're doing.
I will. Thank you.
Thank you.